Good Wednesday evening. Thanks for joining us for Unscripted tonight. Hopefully you and the pets are staying warm inside. Temperature is a lot colder this time around tonight compared to yesterday at this time. Joe, definitely we are in the thick of winter pretty much.
Yeah, hey, you're absolutely right. In fact, usually the coldest week of the year is the third week of January.
Is it? Okay.
So we're inching in on that.
Yeah.
Some cold weather, and it's going to stick around, not just the next day or two. A little warm up Friday back into the 20s, but then maybe the coldest weather of the season early next week. So that's still kind of lurking there in the background. We'll have more on that. But tonight, some lake effect snow still for some spots, Melissa. We'll look at that, how much more. And then a look ahead to kind of a snowy weekend at times. More on that in a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, Joe. As those bitter cold temperatures grip northern Michigan tonight, one church in Cadillac is stepping in to protect lives. The First Presbyterian Church of Cadillac, now operating as a nighttime warming center, opening doors to anyone needing a safe place to escape this cold weather. The First Presbyterian Church opened its warming center this afternoon as temperatures dropped into life-threatening territory. Inside, volunteers say they're providing warmth, shelter, and a safe place to rest overnight. Pastor Mike says that the decision was rooted in both urgency and responsibility. The warming center opens daily at 3 p.m. and remains open overnight, and the church says anyone in need of a warm, safe place is welcome. The St. Clair Butterfly Foundation received a $100,000 grant, all to expand their reach here in northern Michigan. Now, that grant comes from the Michigan Health Endowment Fund, and it's set to expand to the St. Clair Butterfly Foundation's Beyond Trauma-Informed programs. The nonprofit's data-driven, and it focuses on providing educators, courts, healthcare providers, and community leaders with neuroscience-backed strategies to regulate stress and reduce aggressive behaviors. The grant money will go toward the organization's capacity and their capabilities to expand all across northern Michigan. And tonight we are joined by Lisa and Chip St. Clair with the St. Clair Butterfly Foundation. Welcome to both of you. Thank you for making the time to join us.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
First of all, huge news when it comes to the $100,000 grant from Michigan Health Endowment Fund. Before we get into the grant, though, would love to just have the two of you, one of you explain really a summary of the services provided by the St. Clair Butterfly Foundation.
Absolutely. So we provide beyond trauma-informed training and expressive arts programming that helps people, systems, and communities heal from trauma. So everything we do is rooted in neuroscience and designed for real-world impact. And our work equips our community partners like schools and juvenile courts with the tools they need to foster emotional well-being and generational change.
And so when it comes to working with navigating trauma and building resilience with youth, what specifically age are we looking at? Are you looking at, elementary level up through high school, college level students? What would you say would be that age range?
Yeah, well, honestly, it's K through 12, but we've worked with as young as preschool because everything we do is neuroscience backed and aligned with social emotional learning and has an expressive arts component. It can be adapted for all these ages. So whether it's a second grader in an elementary school or a 17-year-old who's in a juvenile detention center or in the juvenile justice system, beyond trauma informed model really meets them where they are. And what we're seeing is some great data-driven results over all the years we've done this, increase in attendance, GPA gains, 100% graduation rates in participating groups, and major reductions in aggressive behavior and suspensions and such.
And with the money from the grant, what specifically will this go toward with different programs like you were explaining and helping work with the trauma side when it comes to students?
Yeah, we're just so honored and grateful to have this support. This grant is helping us increase our capacity by being able to recruit new team members and upgrade our infrastructure so we can meet the growing demand for training and programming.
Yeah, we have a sort of three parts to our trauma toolkit, or beyond trauma toolkit, including professional development. One of the first things we focus on is vicarious trauma. This grant is also helping us to expand our LMS, our learning management system, which is a 24/7 system, allowing educators and other child development professionals to get that continuing education credits and get those micro learnings that really reinforce behavior.
Do students have to live in Northern Michigan to take part in these services through the St. Clair Butterfly Foundation?
No, actually, although we're deeply rooted in Northern Michigan, our Beyond Trauma Informed model is reaching schools and systems all across the country, we're proud to say. But what we're doing here in Northern Michigan is really a blueprint for the rest of the country.
Mm-hmm. And if someone is watching, if there's a parent watching, an educator, maybe even a student watching, what would you want them to know if this is something they feel that they could benefit from?
Yeah, so we have 4 ecosystems that we service: education, juvenile justice, behavioral health, and communities. So if people are looking for our services, we're partnering with those particular systems. And if you work in one of those systems and would like to partner with us, you can find us on our website at scbf.org.
And this might seem like a common sense question, but why do you think it's important to have something like the foundation, especially when it focuses on trauma with youth?
Yeah, it's interesting because there's a very distinct difference between trauma-informed training, which really addresses information and brings awareness to trauma, helps systems and people understand it. But beyond trauma-informed training really moves beyond that initial understanding to help heal the system at a human and a structural level. So with practical tips and tricks and tools that can be used immediately in the classroom using neuroscience and expressive arts programs.
And where would you recommend parents, educators, or students go to get more information if they would like to apply and become part of the foundation?
Yeah, we're happy to have them visit our website at scbf.org or St. Clair Butterfly Foundation.org. And there's a contact page and all sorts of information they can find out if they belong to one of those systems. And we'd be willing to and more than happy to partner with them, lock arms, and help them improve mental health and overcome any adversity that's going on.
Lisa and Chip St. Clair, thank you for what you're doing. Incredible foundation. We will post more information on how students can get involved to the St. Clair Butterfly Foundation by going to our website, UpNorthLive.com. All the information will be posted there. In continuing coverage tonight, it's a trend communities really all across Michigan are seeing. Not enough affordable housing and more people without homes. As WBKB's Matt Velez tells us, Alpena is another community looking for answers.
Alpena community members and leaders gathered here last night for a town hall meeting to discuss a rising concern in Alpena County: homelessness.
One of the things I do is to get with local stakeholders and community leaders to identify problems in the community. And then I try and find a solution for that so I can shepherd resources back into the district from Lansing. And homelessness is becoming a visible issue here in Alpena.
State Representative Cam Cabot was one of several stakeholders and organizations that met with the community inside the Alpena High School auditorium. One of the issues, a familiar one across Michigan: affordable housing.
I'm going to try to find some funding to help our community as a whole, but certainly the Sunrise Center and some of the other NEMSCA and some of the other housing entities that are working in our area to help the unhoused community.
The sentiment from service providers was one of both urgency and hope. Michelle Bailey of the Sunrise Mission says the current crisis is just the beginning.
It's pivotal because it's going to take a community, a tribe of individuals that are invested in, creating solutions. And it's not going to go away anytime soon. In fact, the projections are not looking very good, and this is just the beginning of an avalanche. One
specific solution discussed was the Finding Your Way Home pilot program. It uses diversion to help non-local individuals return to their original support systems by providing transportation tickets back home.
It's really exciting. It's one less resource that we have to spend. And also for other area agencies and nonprofits, it's one less expense that they have to spend out of their budgets because it gets really expensive.
Now, while there is much to learn, Bailey remains grateful for the community response and prepares for the next town hall meeting. Reporting from Alpena, Matt Velez, WBKB 11 News.
Well, switching gears now to an event happening this week. The North American International Auto Show rolls back into Detroit with everything from the latest mainstream models to one-of-a-kind concepts. Mike Woelfel takes a look inside ahead of the public opening.
I think that this is going to be a great consumer show. And, even though it's probably a little bit pared down over previous years, there are a lot of brands here.
40 plus brands, according to organizers, including all brands from the big three, GM, Ford, and Stellantis. Auto journalist Jill Simonillo calls it the perfect place to research a potential purchase.
If you're looking at 2 or 3 vehicles that maybe you want to go test in the dealership, but you don't want any pressure, this is going to be a great place to do that.
Want to kick the tires on a new pickup truck? You can do that. Are you thinking about a nice family crossover? You're well covered. Do you want the thrill of testing an off-roader's full capabilities? You can do that too.
Jeeps and Broncos are not vehicles that you can just see the capability by driving around the block.
Here at the auto show, a professional driver will take you on a ride that simulates that over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house you go feel. And if that's what you're looking for, you will love the Ford Bronco RTR. It's the only new vehicle introduced at this year's show, and it's tricked out for off-roading right from the factory.
This is this really great off-road package all in one shot, and you just go in and it's a WYSIWYG. It's what you see is what you get, and you can just buy it and get it.
Also, electric vehicles maintain a big presence at this show with a test track and a dedicated EV learning center. Despite the 180-degree change in national policy, auto analyst Sam Fiorani says electric vehicles are not dead.
It's going to take time, but in the next 15, 20 years, we're going to see a large transition to EVs.
And that brings us to our question of the day, which has to do with the Detroit Auto Show. Are you loyal to a specific brand of vehicle? Check out our Facebook page, Up North Live, and our website, UpNorthLive.com. You can also scan the QR code on your screen. We'll make sure to check in with those responses coming up a little bit later in the show. And stay with us. Chief Meteorologist Joe Charlevoix takes a look at some frigid, dangerously low temperatures coming up.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
I'm Dee Gatton with the National News Desk in Washington, D.C., and this is your news update.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped and stopping. And there's no plan for executions.
Tensions escalate between the U.S. and Iran after the mass killing of thousands of anti-government protesters. President Trump warning of, quote, very strong action if Iran executes demonstrators. Iranian officials were planning to execute a 26-year-old today for his part in the protests. Some military personnel at a U.S. airbase in Qatar are being told to leave as a precaution. Next, today, top officials from the U.S., Denmark, and Greenland met at the White House to discuss President Trump's quest to acquire Greenland. On Truth Social, Trump repeated his belief that the U.S. must have Greenland for national security. He said, quote, anything less than that is unacceptable. But a Danish official said after today's talks that there's still, quote, fundamental disagreement with the Trump administration.
Bill Clinton's trying to play the victim card here. Only Bill Clinton could try to triangulate something that's happened, a terrible atrocity to these survivors that have had to endure who knows what from Epstein and Maxwell.
House Oversight Committee Republicans are moving forward with criminal contempt of Congress charges against former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton for refusing to sit for depositions related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Chairman James Comer says he's investigating if Epstein helped raise money for the Clinton Foundation. The Clintons argued in a statement yesterday that the committee subpoenas are legally invalid. And that's your news update.
The National News Desk can be seen on ABC 29 and 8 on Saturday night and 11:30 and Sundays at midnight. Switching gears now, taking a look at weather. A lot colder tonight than it was this time yesterday. In fact, definitely you're going to want to layer up if you do head out there. And Cadillac, one of those areas, Joe, that 14 degrees right now, chilly.
Yeah, and the wind chill feels like temperature 0.
Ouch.
Right now. So it is a cold night out there. We'll see another chilly day tomorrow, but tomorrow will actually be a kind of quiet day.
Okay.
So a little break from the snow because we have a lot more coming in after that. Let's look, though. Still snowing. You can see that in the distance there. Light snow coming down. 14 degrees here in Wexford County. Kind of a wintry night out there. Our three big things in weather. We have an active stretch of weather starting now right into next week, besides tomorrow. A little bit of a break tomorrow. There are snow chances every day pretty much from Friday through the weekend into next week. We have multiple clippers coming in and lake effect at times too. And I know we've had some cold weather, but the coldest temperatures of the season appear poised to arrive next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, probably peaking on Tuesday. Well, I shouldn't say peaking, dropping Tuesday. Here are the numbers right now. Remember when it was in the 40s last night at this time in some spots? Quite different currently. Gaylord at 9, Sault Ste. Marie, the cold spot at 6. These temperatures are a solid 20 to almost close to 30 degrees colder than it was at this time last night. And a lot of that cold air blew in after midnight. And then we had a lot of school closings today because of the water on the road had icy conditions, a little bit of a flash freeze early this morning. Our low is moving off to the east of us now. We still have basically some lake effect snow now working through. This is going to kind of push itself. You know, you can see some snow Cadillac around Gaylord, for instance. Our inland area should see most of the snow coming to an end. And then this will focus itself right near Lake Huron, mainly from Alpena south later tonight, and then right along the Lake Michigan shoreline from Traverse City southwest, Manistee and Ludington in particular. We'll see some lake effect snow as the night goes on here. So you see that. There's that snow kind of right along the lakeshore, not as much inland. This is the middle of the night tonight around 3 a.m. And then tomorrow, snow near Lake Michigan ends from Leelanau County south. And then a quiet day. I do think some sunshine at times in the afternoon tomorrow. Well, there's our next system. That comes in Thursday night into Friday morning. Low pressure arrives. You see snow pretty widespread in the first half of Friday. Snow showers Friday evening. And then we'll head right into Saturday with, well, guess what? Some snow showers to start the weekend. There's the snow tonight. You can see that Ludington, Manistee, 4 or 5 inches, not as much inland. And then here's that clipper coming in Thursday night into Friday. with some higher totals near Lake Michigan, and also there western Mackinac County with a south wind off Lake Michigan, maybe up toward Newberry. Keep an eye on that too. Then snow continues Saturday, Sunday. There's Monday, cold weather, lake effect snow continuing into Tuesday, and then another clipper perhaps next Wednesday. So we mentioned that in our three big things, an active stretch coming up here. Tonight, 8 below to 18 above. A frigid January night, lake effect snow at times. A lot of that confined to near Lake Michigan. Tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy, 6 to 14 in the UP. Some spots staying in the single digits, including Sault Ste. Marie. Grayling, Petoskey, 15 tomorrow. Partly to mostly cloudy. Again, not much in the way of snow except near Lake Michigan, but even there, that'll end by midday. We're looking at 22 at Clare tomorrow. Looking ahead, there's Friday. No, it will be a little warmer Friday, but yeah, snow returns. Snow showers into the weekend. And then early next week, Melissa, looking at Tuesday, 4 and 11 with a little bit of lake effect snow. So chilly weather into next week.
Very much so. All right. Thanks, Joe. Coming up, sports director Harrison Beebe is out covering high school basketball, but a preview of tonight's matchup coming up after this. Welcome back to Unscripted. Sports director Harrison Beebe joins us now live in East Jordan. He has a preview of some games coming up tonight. Hey, Harrison.
Hey, Melissa. Yeah, it's winter is definitely here. Can confirm I'm not in the UpNorthLive Storm Team truck, but here in good old car 4 that we have in our parking lot. And it's taking me a little longer to get to these games than I had planned, but the roads are manageable. But, you know, to kind of stress to everybody, it is full-on winter out there now, so give yourselves a few extra minutes wherever you're going to go. And so far, my games have been taking place, so that's always good, too. I just stopped in Central Lake to see The Central Lake Trojans host Gaylord St. Mary in girls basketball. And Gaylord St. Mary, we haven't seen the official media polls yet for girls basketball. We had the boys polls earlier in the week. The girls polls have not come out yet for the media. The coaches polls have, and Gaylord St. Mary and Inland Lakes are both in the top 10 in Division 4. And that is the other team I'm about to go see here in East Jordan. Inland Lakes is visiting the Red Devils. Inland Lakes and Gaylord St. Mary, usually as of late, the top two teams in this conference. So a nice way to get on a Wednesday evening and check and see the barometer of how they're doing in Division 4 girls basketball here in Northern Michigan. After last night, drove out to see two of the better teams in the Northern Shores Conference in Boyne City and Kingsley. So the weather, not ideal, but nothing I can't handle to get out and catch a few girls basketball games here as we are, I wager, in the midpoint of the high school basketball season now, just about a month and a half away from district time starting up.
Sounds good. Harrison, thank you so much. Be safe out there. Of course, Harrison will have more look at sports coming up tonight at Up North Live News at 11. Of course, we'll take a look at the results of our question of the day coming up after this.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
Welcome back to Unscripted. We want to know, are you loyal to a specific brand of vehicle? Our question right now posted online, you can see that 72% saying yes, 28% saying no. Some of the responses, Doug says he does Dodge, Buick, and Toyota. Does seem to be a good option as well. Andy says no, whatever is the cheapest. Kathy says she doesn't have a specific one anymore that she goes to. Jordy says Ford since 1960. Donald says GM. My dad and brother retired from there, so I buy their products. Thank you for letting us know. And all of the responses, you can still go to our Facebook page and our website, UpNorthLive.com. Let us know. And of course, thank you for tuning in tonight for Unscripted. You can join us later tonight for Up North Live News at 11. Stay warm out there. Be safe.